You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 155. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Spencer Valdez.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find this show, plus many other cool podcasts like The Two-Headed Nerd, the all-new Anti-Fanboy, and Super Podcasto Magnifico at rhymeswithgeek.com. Comic Reflections is also available at backissueheroes.com, the home of classic comics on the web. And if you enjoy this program, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So Spencer, you and I, we're starting a journey.
We are.
A long walk.
A very long walk.
With dead people. We're going to do The Walking Dead and on this show. And I'm totally doing this intro like horribly on the second take, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to do The Walking Dead and
You're going to listen.
Yes. This episode will be about The Walking Dead Chapter 1, Days Gone By. And we'll be talking about Walking Dead issues 1 through 6, written by Robert Kirkman, with art by Tony Moore.
Cool.
Let's begin, baby.
Yeah. So, we have the compendiums.
We have the compendiums, yes.
Which I think, personally, is the best way to go when buying these books.
Well, yeah, I love phone books, and it's a hefty tome, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It is a heavy book.
Yeah.
But buy it because money.
Right, but I mean, you're saving when you're buying the compendiums.
Yeah.
To be honest, because the chapter books are,
like $12.
Yeah, and so after so many, you're just gonna be buying this anyways.
I mean, you get this for like $30 or $40, and if each chapter is like $12, 12 or 15, there's like 8 chapters in a compendium.
Right.
So you are saving a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So yay!
Yay, save money.
And we'll see whether after we finish Compendium 2, if we get those individual chapters in trade or wait for Compendium 3 to continue this. But anyway, let's begin.
Yeah. So let's just do this the way we've always done books.
Yeah.
Basically, it starts off with 2 officers of the law having a shootout with this redneck,
guy,
toothless, balding, bearded guy.
Is he totally toothless?
Well, he's missing a tooth.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's a very liberal definition of the word toothless.
And our main protagonist, I think?
Yes. Rick Jones. No, not Rick Jones. Rick Baker. What's his name? Rick Grimes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right. He's shot through the
Rick
chest.
James.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
And then, of course, the classic wake up in the hospital bed.
Yes. With nobody around.
Yeah.
Except for zombies.
That's true. Has no idea what's been going on the last couple months.
Word.
Just kind of locked away in his hospital bed.
Yeah, which you think zombies would have eaten him in this.
Yeah.
I think, forget about Walking Dead being a far-fetched concept. The fact that he didn't get eaten while he was in a coma.
Absolutely, just kind of laying there.
I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, later on it kind of explains, you don't mess with them, they don't realize you're there.
Well, yeah, if he was just chilling, sleeping, maybe...
Maybe they thought, I guess they wouldn't think you're there.
But I guess they come after you if they notice you moving around and not being a zombie.
And if you're in a coma, you're just...
Okay. So anyway, Rick wakes up, and holy crap, he doesn't realize what's happened with the world becoming zombified.
Right.
Baby?
Yeah. So he makes his way out of the hospital, and he actually kills one of the zombies.
Yeah.
On the way out.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of accidentally, they fall down the stairs, and
the
head pops off, and
gross.
There's grubs and worms and things, and he's grossed out. Makes his way to the parking lot, and I mean, it's just deserted, and he comes to a field. He sees a bike. He walks to the bike, and there's just this gross, tore up zombie laying in the field.
Yeah.
And I think he Ralphs, doesn't he?
Probably. Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. Well, he breaks down and cries. Because
yeah.
I mean, that's not something you see every day.
No.
And if you're waking up in a coma, and from a coma,
yeah,
and you're you have expectations that most things are going to be the same, and it's not an apocalypse.
Well, I think waking up from a coma, you're like, whoa, what happened? Where'd I get?
Right.
Those are things.
Yeah.
And then that is icky yucky poo.
Yeah. So he takes the zombie's bike and rides off.
A zombike.
Yeah. And he eventually kind of breaks down, and he can't handle the enormous weight that was put on his shoulders after waking up.
Right, and he doesn't know where his wife and son are, all the questions of what the heck's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what does he go back to his old house?
Yeah, he goes back to his old house. It's just torn apart. The porch swing is hanging on one chain. The air conditioner from the window is pulled out. The shutters are torn down. The door's open.
Yeah.
Makes his way through, doesn't find anything, and then gets caught in the back of the head of the shovel.
Man!
That's probably a great,
What is this, an episode of Hee Haw?
No. And so we're finally introduced to two new characters.
Yay! That one guy and his son.
Yeah, that one guy and his son. I don't remember his name.
It doesn't matter. He'll come back later, or you'll remember later.
Yeah. It's actually the son who knocks him in the head.
Right.
Didn't I do a good job, Dad?
It's like, no, that was a real, alive person.
Yeah. So they kind of drag him back to their place, and they're apologizing, and they kind of give Rick the lowdown on everything that's kind of happened.
Notes of people's names might be a good thing to have in notes.
Yeah, totally.
But watchers of the show will remember this guy because this first issue really plays out almost identically to the first episode of the show. So.
Yeah. So they kind of make a deal like, hey, you've helped me out.
Let's make a deal. Oh.
You've helped me out. I'm going to help you out.
Let's go to the police station and get some guns.
Yeah, Rick says, want to go shopping. And so they go to the police department, and they just load up on pretty much any kind of weaponry they would need.
Yeah. I think it's funny to note that at this point Rick's like, well, once things get back to normal, you can put stuff back and, it'll be cool.
Right. Yeah.
Still not really having the full, impact of this situation. And you'll see that early on, really, in this first chapter. Some people are kind of expecting the world to go back to the way it was.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, I still think that there's definitely that hope across the board.
Right.
Within these first two chapters, at least.
Right. And I'm sure as we get down the line, the reality will sink in no, this is a change. Things are changed forever. There's no turning back.
Absolutely.
So
Rick gets his revolver. He changes into his police garb. And I think he's hoping that, if I look like a police officer, people are going to treat me that way. Mm-hmm. And maybe stay away, or, hey, I need help. We can help each other again. Kind of like the deal he had here in town.
Yeah.
And so they make their way out, and Rick gives... I cannot remember this guy's name.
I don't remember
for
either.
the life of me.
And I just read this a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember either.
I read it a few days ago. So...
Notes for next time. Noting names.
Yeah. We're sorry. We'll get it, though.
I'm not sorry. I'm kidding.
So, Rick, they make their way out to the parking lot where the police squadron...
Squad cars are.
Yeah, the squad cars are. And
there's a zombie
There's a zombie, and Rick pulls his gun and is ready to shoot, and he's stopped.
Collaborated and listened to his friend.
Leave it. There's no reason to lay it out. It'll only draw more attention to you.
Right. The moral come.
Right. This is. He's gaining experience through other people.
Sure.
Through other people's experience, which is, when it comes to this kind of situation,
that's invaluable. Maybe
right.
Strategic use of bullets.
Yeah.
And that I think comes more into play more and more as time goes on.
Absolutely.
Because there's nobody making new bullets.
Yeah.
I don't think. There's a way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so Rick gets in the car and he's kind of driving through the city,
Uh-huh.
and we come back to that field with the zombie on the ground that he kind of came across when he got the bike.
Yeah.
Which was a very emotional scene for him.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls out his gun.
I second that emotion.
Yeah. He pulls out his gun and he ends it for the zombie.
Right.
Which again is another really emotional thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, before this, it explains later on that he never really fired his gun.
So, yeah.
He never had to fire it at someone.
Right.
Until the day he got shot.
Right.
And so...
It's transformative experiences.
Yeah.
Throughout. So.
Absolutely. Gets back in the car and takes off, and heads to Georgia, where he believes his wife and son probably went
to be with his in-laws.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's not a bad train of thought. It's something to go on.
Yeah.
So.
So he's making it to Georgia. He makes it to the state line, and pretty much runs out of gas at that point.
Oh.
Yeah. Finds a horse. Rides the horse into Atlanta. Yeah. Talking to the horse, kind of going crazy.
Sure.
And I mean, when you've talked to two people
that are alive,
yeah.
And like, yeah. Well, you know, you'd probably talk to a horse or a dog or whatever too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's probably to keep people going nuts.
We have this beautiful kind of panel here.
Yeah.
Takes about half the page of him riding his horse into Atlanta.
With all this trash around, like, man.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that's what Atlanta looks like anyways. But, I mean, this apparently is worse.
Yeah.
Than what I assume Atlanta already looks like. And,
zombies, yo.
Yeah, they are just throughout the city. There's no hope for anyone who's there.
Right.
And
it makes me think, you know, heading out into rural places would be the smarter move. Because the more densely populated, the more zombie-ridden a place could easily become.
And I mean, later on we find out that, you know, the government was saying, hey, come to Atlanta. Or come to the big city.
To die.
Basically.
But
they were going to be able to corral you better. They were going to be able to get service to you better.
But then they're just overrun by zombies.
Absolutely, yeah.
Probably unquarantined, bitten people.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's, yeah. Yeah, stuff.
Yeah, so Rick rides his horse into a pretty big pod of zombies. And
that's what we're going to call it.
Horde. Horde of zombies. And the horse is immediately eaten.
Yeah.
And all he kind of has on him is his revolver and his axe.
Yeah.
And he's rescued by this little guy, this Glenn. He's rescued by Glenn. We'll just call him by his name.
Because that's his name, Glenn.
Yeah. Glenn runs him through the roofs of the city. He says, look, you can trust me or not, I'm trying to get you out of here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Rick decides,
they're jumping off from rooftop to rooftop, and that's kind of, like, Rick almost doesn't make it.
Right.
Because he's carrying his backpack, and then Glenn's like, you know, you should have thrown the backpack first.
Right.
Yeah.
But my thought with that, though, is I think Rick is picking and choosing who he's going to be trusting or not.
Right.
And so he throws that big bag of weaponry at this kid. This kid has all this weaponry, even if it's just for a split second.
Right.
Rick is basically weaponless.
Right.
At the mercy of this person. He has no idea who he is.
Right. But at this certain point, I think Rick is eager to trust.
Yeah.
Or definitely more willing, and of course that will fade with time.
Yeah, of course.
But
actually, fairly quickly that fades. And so Glenn leads him out of the city and brings him back to his camp. And Rick finally just loses it.
Yeah.
He breaks down. He can't find his wife. He can't find his son. He's woken up to the apocalypse. He's had to kill someone, whether he was the one who killed him or not.
Right.
He ended
Right.
whatever that life was.
Whatever that existence was. Yeah. He's had a lousy day.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Glenn's kind of there, hey, it's okay. I'll lead you back to my camp. We're good people. We'll take care of you. We've got some food. We have some shelter. But as a group, we've survived this long.
hey.
And wouldn't you know it, Lori and Carl are there.
Yes, and let me tell you. Okay, couple things. I know I don't want to spend tons of time comparing TV show to comic.
Right.
Man, comic Lori a million times better than TV Lori.
Absolutely.
And interesting to note, comic Carl much younger than TV Carl.
Yeah.
Quite a bit younger.
Yeah.
This one's like 7 years old.
I don't think Carl in the show was much older than that. I think.
He's a few years older than that.
Yeah.
And it's significant into the show because he's becoming a man.
Right. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
happy reunion.
Yay! Oh, thank God you're.
Oh,
they're
and look
hugging.
who else is there.
Oh.
Rick's partner.
Oh my God,
Shane.
Shane. Yeah.
And Rick. Oh.
Hugging and being nice.
Oh, but Shane. This begins the butthurtedness of Shane because he was so hoping to be like
Yeah.
have
Definitely.
it going on with Lori, and because he's the leader now. He's the leader of the camp. Shane's the leader of the camp.
Right.
We also
Kind of de facto leader though. Like
yeah.
I don't think. I don't think Shane as a person, even before, the apocalypse happens or whatever we want to call it, was leadership material. But I think he has a badge. He looks like someone of authority.
Yeah.
He's just a really good.
He is the leader of the group. I'm not saying he's a good one.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think people look to him because he was a cop.
Yeah. And
there's some cops that are just good at following orders.
Yeah.
Whatever those orders are.
Yeah.
Even if it,
Yeah. So anyway, we're meeting a lot of these characters that you will be familiar with on the show, or that we are familiar with on the show, like Andrea. Man, comic book Andrea, much better than TV Andrea.
Yeah. Andrea and her sister are both there.
Yeah.
Hanging out with Dale.
Yeah.
Living in the RV.
Yeah. I'm not sure which Dale I like better, but I like Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a thing. Talk about it later.
Yeah.
When we get there.
There's a woman named Donna who is not in the show.
Right, and she's obnoxious. Oh my gosh.
She is fairly prudish.
Yeah.
And her husband,
He's pretty chill.
Alan.
Yeah.
Right.
He's pretty chill. Oh, you remember the names of all white people?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
I cannot remember the name of the black guy from the beginning. I just cannot.
Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan.
Got it.
Morgan and his son. Yeah.
Can't remember the son's name. But it's a child, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
So Don and Alan have two twins. Carol is there with Sophia. Lori and Carl. I think that rounds up the group. And Jim.
Yeah. Jim, the mechanic.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mechanic.
He's not weird. He had a terrible experience.
That's cool.
So.
I
What's
think,
that, Sean?
Everyone has.
Well, right, but him more than others, I think. Oh yeah, our good pal Sean Rufus here to chime in here,
Yep.
here and there.
Mouth
Yeah.
off.
Exactly.
I think that rounds out the group.
Okay.
And so, I mean, the next few pages here are...
What is remember, is Andrea's sister, is it Amy?
Amy.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some other small kids, but who cares? They suck. Kids
Yeah.
are terrible.
Don't
have kids. Admiral Akbar says, it's a trap!
The next couple pages are the relationship between Lori and Rick. Like, oh my God, how did this happen? And it's him explaining, how I got here with Morgan and Glenn and, everything that happened up to this point. Kind of recapping for her. And kind of the last bit of that is, I haven't had time to be scared.
Right.
And the look on his face is just like, it is fear,
Sure.
you know. And it's I like it. Still more of the relationship building with Lori and Carl and Rick.
Yeah.
And then we finally get our first main interaction with Rick and Shane.
Yeah.
With Shane kind of being the man in charge now.
Yeah. That shifts real quickly.
Yeah. What is nice about this point is that there's still points this point of time in the after the event happened.
Yeah.
Where little things like showering, having a bed, and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like they still kind of take it for granted. Because they have the RV, they have a shower.
Right. It's kind of like, oh, we're camping.
Yeah.
In the apocalypse.
And we're just waiting for whatever.
There's no home to go back to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Like there's a thought that things are gonna get, go back to where they were.
Yeah.
But no.
And so we have our first interaction between Rick and Dale.
Yeah.
And Dale is kind of he has some stuff to say about Shane,
right.
But Rick is new and he's not gonna just spout it off yet.
Right, because he doesn't know.
Right.
They don't know each other yet, and Rick and Shane have a previous relationship. Who's he gonna listen to?
Yeah, and so the kind of the last thing he says to Rick before Rick hops in the shower is, "I wouldn't trust him around my wife," which kind of sets up this whole Rick.
Dale is really observant.
Yeah.
And there's always that character that tends to be kind of the moral compass of the group.
Yeah.
And I feel like, at least like on the show, Dale definitely was first season and first and second season. And yeah.
And then he got 8.
Spoilers.
If you haven't watched the show, you're an idiot. You should watch it already.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of my
probably
like.
Shouldn't be calling the listeners idiots.
Probably not.
But if you haven't watched The Walking Dead yet, come on.
Also, shout out to people who are listening from Atlanta.
Yeah. Sorry,
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So Rick and Shane are going hunting, and I think Lori would rather Rick stay around, but I think she also realizes Rick will rise to a leadership role no matter the situation he's in, and so he's going to go hunting with Shane, and kind of get things done. The men go hunting, the women go
clothes washing.
Yeah, and there's that conversation of, oh, I never had to wash clothes, just
right.
This is stupid. Why don't I get to go hunting? And so, I mean, it's an interesting, perspective that, like, they just kind of fall into these roles of hunter-gatherer kind of stuff, where women are going to be more domestic with the clothes washing.
Mm-hmm.
Men are going to go hunting,
Sure. Well, we're definitely going back to a hunter-gatherer kind of dynamic, so...
that is not to say that women can't hunt.
Yeah,
and that women shouldn't hunt. But rather,
this is just
in
how it be.
Yeah.
How it be.
You will come to see that is not the case always.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, so Rick and Shane come across a zombie that's kind of chowing down on a deer.
Yeah.
And Shane's like, well, why don't we just take that one? And Rick's like, I don't want to eat anything that was just recently eaten by one of those.
Yeah, it's
Who knows
probably
what
not.
kind of disease is.
Yeah. And that's another thing, like the ecological impact of a zombie apocalypse. First, I don't think that... I think for the most part, zombies wouldn't be able to catch animals unless many of them could corner something. Like, I think wildlife would largely be able to get away.
Yeah, definitely. But this deer did not get away, and its neck is open and being eaten by a zombie.
Yeah.
Maybe it was weak. Maybe it was a broken ankle.
Sure, because animals get hurt and they...
Fainting goat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have Donna and Lori talking about how Lori met Rick, and that it's through his brother, and he was a few years older.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of making their way back to camp, and out of nowhere, a zombie comes out of the woods and kind of attacks Donna.
Yeah.
And Alan pops up with a shotgun and can't get a shot off because Donna is in the way.
Right.
And Dale comes in with an axe and just lops its head off, and it's awesome.
It is awesome, and then the mouth starts still moving and going glack, glack, which, gross, nobody's seen that before.
Right. So the kids run to their moms, Dale, and everyone's still kind of freaking out that its head's still...
Yeah.
And they, crush it.
That's good.
And so Rick and Shane are still out by this zombie tearing into this deer, just kind of watching it.
Right. And then it notices them.
Yeah.
And they have to kill the crap out of it.
Yeah, and I think Rick takes his axe to its head.
Yeah.
Takes it out. Yeah,
right.
It's Rick.
Yeah.
But then they hear the shot of the shotgun and make their way back to camp.
Right.
And,
I like how Rick gets the zombie's wearing glasses, and Rick gets it right between the eyes and cleaves the glasses in twain.
Yeah.
I like that. So, anyway.
Rick's a good shot.
With an axe?
Yeah.
The relationship between Rick and Lori being reunited, and then the fear that something happened to either of them,
right?
I mean, sends them flying into each other's arms. And it's sad because both of them thought each of them were dead. Who survives this? And they're, canoodling. Yeah. Move things into the woods, and Rick and Lori are, really, caring for each other in this moment. And then drop down a panel, and Shane is just glaring.
He's like, dang it!
Yeah.
In his butthurtedness.
Right,
Because he's hearing people kind of, listen to Rick a little more. This is happening.
Right.
And, his grip on the situation, his power or whatever, is slipping.
Right, yeah.
And, his big dream of getting with Lori is going away.
Yeah.
It's gone like crap.
It's gone. Yeah, at this point, it is gone.
Yeah.
And so the next full page is a scene of the campfire looking up at the RV with Shane being kind of the shadow of Shane.
Right.
And, psst, hey, Rick climbs up on top to hang out with his, it's his partner. It's, it's his best friend,
Yeah.
And
best friend Apocalypse.
yeah. Rick has no idea what was going on between Lori and Shane.
Right.
I mean, we have an idea because...
Yeah, it's certainly alluded to.
Right. And Rick comes up to be friendly, and he's like, hey, man, so what is our end game here? Are we just going to hang out and let zombies walk into our camp all the time?
And Shane wants to just kind of stick around. We're fine here. The government's coming back. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's getting cold. And we are running low on food.
Yeah. And so Rick suggests maybe we should start moving this camp out somewhere else. And Shane gets super defensive and says, no, I've been doing this for a while. I know what's going on. The government's going to be here in not more than a month. We need to be near, near the city so we can get help. Yeah. And Rick is just skeptical. He doesn't believe that anyone's coming to help him.
Well, and that's good. I mean, maybe the government will come, but you know what? It's not like they're not going to go looking for people.
Yeah.
And
so Rick says, we got to get more guns. And Shane's like, well, how are we going to do that? And I'll figure something out. Rick stepping up into that role of, all right,
Here is a problem. We don't know how to solve it, but let's figure something out.
And you know what? Luckily, Dale comes out because I think this could have come to a head sooner.
Yeah.
Without Dale being kind of a intermediary,
Yeah.
I think Shane and Rick would have come to blows much sooner than it actually happened.
Yeah.
Which comes pretty quickly, you know, and fairly unexpectedly. So we have, kind of our first interaction with Jim, who's kind of, keeps to himself.
Yeah.
We don't know much about him. But Rick has convinced Glenn to take him into the city to find a gun store.
Yes.
There's got to be one. So they asked Jim, "Hey, do you know where a gun store is?" Is it Jim? It might have been Alan.
Yeah. It's either Jim or Alan.
Yeah.
Jim knows. Yeah, it's Jim.
Yeah, there's one X Street and Y Avenue.
Yeah.
So Glenn hops in his car, grabs a map, and he's like, "Oh, I've never been this far in. This will be interesting." And so they do they get into the woods and they figure out it's much farther in than they expected. They're gonna have to figure out a way to get around without being attractive to zombies.
Right.
And so Rick comes up with the idea of rubbing gross on them.
Zombies, guts on them. And I'm like, I think that's the biggest, that would never work kind of thing.
You don't think so?
No. I think rubbing zombie guts on yourself is just going to infect you. You're going to get it through your pores.
Huh?
I'm like, but no, it's not going to fool them. I mean, they're not smart, but
right.
They kind of have a sense of who's zombie and who's not.
Yeah.
And to me, that's crap.
And so...
Total crap.
We get 2 instances where Glenn throws up, and it's awesome, because it's making him smell worse.
Right.
Which apparently keeps zombies away from you.
Yeah.
So they make their way into the town, and Rick gets kind of close to one to test it out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to move until he starts moving towards it, like kind of lunging at it a little bit.
Right.
And then it kind of gets up and is like, "Hey, what the hell?"
So when this is the smell kind of covers up, as long as they kind of don't make, big, fast movements.
Right.
So.
So the zombie gets up, and then they stop moving, and kind of like, "Oh, it's just one of you." Just kind of moves on. They make it into the city, and it is just so, filled with zombies. And they have to make their way through a crowd.
There's a tank just hanging out there.
So obviously...
the National Guard of the Army made it into the city.
Yeah, the government's already been there.
Totally did.
Yeah, they're not coming back. Rick grabs a shopping cart, and they make their way into the gun store. But not without making a crap ton of noise.
Word.
Because they had to kind of crash into the door. And they just grab a buttload of guns.
Sure.
And ammo. Everything they could find and all the ammo they could grab.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as soon as they make their way out, kaboom, boom, 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 thunder, lightning, and rain starts to wash all the gross off of them, which has got to feel good, but at the same time...
Like it's an oh crap moment.
Absolutely. So they make their way out, they escape, they have to...
Run like hell.
Yeah.
Shoot their way out. But they do make it back to the camp.
Right.
Where Shane and Lori are arguing about stuff.
Absolutely. Shane don't, is what Lori says.
Having a tense conversation because Shane reminds her of that one night.
That one night where they...
Filled with passion.
Yeah, because they were
on the
alone.
Side of the road.
And Lori turns it and says, "That night was a mistake." And Shane is just...
Dang it, crestfallen.
Downtrodden, yeah.
Crestfallen's a good word.
Yeah.
I like to use that.
And then we have this awesome page of a condor? Oh,
No. That is a vulture.
a vulture. Yes, thank you. California Condors
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
in Atlanta. Yeah. Maybe it was from the zoo, Sean.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think they have these.
And it's just eating away at this corpse on the hood of a car.
Gross. But yeah.
But I mean, it looks really awesome. The
Yeah, it
art
is.
in this book is
Yeah.
just, I mean,
Chapter 1 with the art by Tony Moore. Really nice. He also did really good work on this book, Fear Agent,
okay.
which I think Robert Kirkman. Don't quote me on that. I think Robert Kirkman might have written that also.
Oh, cool.
But anyway,
But yeah, I mean, it's so the art in this first chapter is just beautiful.
yeah.
It is so detailed down to, I mean, down to the last little mark. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's very nice. And not to say anything about Charlie Adler, who took over the book after the first chapter.
Right. I mean,
But it's different as all.
yeah. And so Rick is kind of teaching the ladies how to shoot,
Yeah.
and decides, you know what, Carl, come on over here, son. I'm going to teach you a thing or two about shooting.
And Laura's like, what?
Yeah. She's not happy, and it's like, hey, I'm his dad. It's the zombie apocalypse.
Hey.
Yeah. And Carl is a great shot.
Is he?
Yeah, he
Oh yeah.
he
He's
picks
he's
the-
a natural.
Yeah. And so, excuse me. Yeah, so Shane calls them all back to camp. And Lori is fairly upset with Rick
Right.
just deciding to teach their son how to shoot guns.
Right.
Because I think she's still under the impression as well, like most people, that it's all going to blow over.
This
You
is
know.
a temporary situation,
Yeah.
and I don't want my kid shooting guns.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so we have another interaction with Dale, where he kind of defends Rick to Rick.
Right.
Says, you know what? Don't worry about her. She's had a rough few days.
Women.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, that's not me saying that, okay? But
right.
yeah.
It's kind of his attitude though. Like, she's gonna be upset. It's his mother. Of course, she's
Yeah.
gonna feel this
Well,
way.
he was married.
Yeah.
He's widowed, recently widowed. But he
Yeah.
was married for like 30
40
years.
years, yeah.
40 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Close to 40 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, anyway.
And so we have Dale and Andrew and Amy going into the RV, and we have Donna kind of snipping at Lori, like, "Oh, I wonder what they get on doing in there, pervert old man." Like,
It's like,
Just-
really?
yeah. She says it's unchristian. And
Lori's like-
I'm pretty sure so is being judgmental, and it shuts her right up, and she walks away.
Yeah. I do not like Donna. She
Yeah.
is Miss Frump,
Yeah.
and I don't like frumpy people.
Yeah. So we have Rick, Dale, and Shane out chopping some wood,
Doing
man
stuff. Anyway.
and they're kind of talking about the dynamic between Dale and the two ladies.
Yeah.
And Rick's like, haha, give him a little elbow, like, hey, I saw that you got two ladies in that RV there. And then he's like, no.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm too old for that.
I'm too, yeah. I think he makes
He's Sergeant
a,
Murtaugh. Oh, okay.
he makes a impotence joke.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
which was funny.
Yeah.
And they're switching off chopping wood, and Rick just kind of makes a side comment about how it's getting colder,
Yeah.
and Shane just kind of loses it. He gets
Yeah.
really, we're not moving to camp, Whoa, that's not what I'm saying. I'm mentioning the weather,
Yeah. Yeah, Shane turns into Captain Freakout in the Clouds of Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he marches off back to camp with an armful of wood.
Yeah.
And Dale's like, that boy's got problems,
And how?
Yeah. So, kind of sitting around camp.
Everyone's comparing how we came to the apocalypse story.
Yeah. What did we do before?
Right.
How we got here? Jim just says mechanic. and like kind of leaves it at that. I think he's really guarded about his story.
Yeah.
And we find out later why. But
Can I just say it now, or
yeah, go ahead.
that his whole family was basically torn apart in front of him?
Yeah,
and he was the only one that got away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So there, you know, it's a moment of respite in a time of
Dog poopitude.
yeah, and it's nice to just see them just hanging out. So Amy gets up and says she has to pee.
In the face of her enemies.
Yeah, but then she's 8. She gets 8.
Yeah.
Right in her neck.
Right in the old neck. That's like the top choice for zombites, I feel. Of like, you're totally gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
because you can't just lop off a head.
Well, you can, but you don't live.
You don't live.
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone flips out. Guns are.
Yeah. Yeah, and multiple zombies show up, and it's like an oh crap moment.
Yeah, and they have to take out 4 or 5. Maybe even more than that, I think. I think like a herd walks in.
Yeah.
And just destroys their camp. And I mean, we have a shot of Lori pulling her gun and then like dropping it.
Yeah.
And Carl running up and just saving the crap out of his mom.
Yeah. Totally blowing a zombie away.
Right. And I mean, at that point, you're like, you know what, Lori? In your face. She didn't want Carl to have a gun.
Well,
she was angry with
you know
Rick.
what? Then later she changed her tune about it, though.
Right, yeah.
Pretty quick,
Yeah.
like, okay, this was
But
the right decision.
When your son saves your life in front of you,
Yeah.
you kind of have to.
Yeah.
And so we get all of the zombies done.
Oh, Jim has an intense moment.
Yeah.
He kills a zombie and then keeps just hitting the zombie.
Yeah.
Because it's my family. You killed them all, and then everybody kind of sees him
Like,
as he kind of collapses.
Oh, they killed my family. And so yeah, he kind of needs to take a walk a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, Amy's done.
Yeah.
She's got she got 8 in the neck.
Word.
Yeah. But unfortunately,
Does she get the double tap from somebody?
I think Andrea ends up doing it.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Andrea
right.
ends
Wasn't
up-
that the same on the show? I can't remember.
I think so. I think that's how it happened.
Yeah.
But we look down and oh my God, Jim got bit in the arm.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice big chunk out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of, kind of saying anything, he just whoop,
Yep.
pulls
Covers.
his sleeves down.
Yep.
Like all of us would do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have, oh no, we don't actually see Amy getting,
It must be implied then. I thought there was.
oh, no, Andrew does it.
Yeah.
Pops her right under the chin.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Which was shocking to everyone, I think, because...
That's the first time that happens.
Yeah, the first time we had to see someone put down that
Who was gonna, before they turn.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then it becomes common practice, obviously, later.
Yeah.
So they have a funeral for Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And
and
it's
it is
sad.
definitely getting much colder. There's snow falling throughout this whole scene.
Yeah.
And when you look, there's like snowfall. There's like the ground is covered in snow at this point in the morning.
Right.
And they're all huddled in blankets.
Yeah.
And so they all have like. I mean, it's hard to know what to say in just a normal situation when someone passes.
Right.
But in the situation where you have to put down your own sister,
Yeah.
and you're in a group of people who, honestly, they don't know you.
Right. And yeah. Yeah.
And so everyone's kind of saying nice things about her, that, oh, she was too young for this to happen to, she had her whole life, like,
Yeah.
did she have her whole life, though? I don't think so. You're living in the zombie apocalypse now.
It's really a matter of time.
Yeah.
And people are going to be cut down in what we would consider the prime of their life on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah. And so we have this 2-panel kind of scene of Rick kind of staring down Shane.
Oh, boy.
And he's blaming him. Like, look, I told you this was going to end up happening.
Yeah.
And
it's a wordless exchange, but
Right,
it's
yeah.
pretty powerful.
Yeah. And Shane is just looking down at the ground again.
Dang
So,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
because he's let his pack down that he was in charge of.
right, and
You know?
it's that grip is just slipping, man.
Yeah.
So it's not a secret that Jim is bit,
Right.
and so is it Donna that's taking care of him?
Carol.
Carol. Oh yeah, Carol.
Carol's taking care of him. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carol, who I like.
Yeah.
Carol is good.
Yeah.
So.
She's taking care of him, and he's slipping fast. I mean, it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time before he turns.
Yeah.
And so, Rick and Shane and Carl all go hunting.
Yeah.
And Rick, Rick still doesn't get that Shane is quite upset with him.
Yeah.
For ruining everything, ruining the fact that he was the leader of the group,
Right.
ruining the fact that he had a chance with Lori.
Yeah. Well, Shane was going to get them all killed,
Yeah.
and that's a reality.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think Shane is more upset that he's not going to be with Lori.
Yeah.
I think that's the seed.
Oh,
that
yeah.
can spread.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, because he thought I'm the leader in this new world.
Yeah.
And or in this situation, I'm a hero. I'm gonna get the girl. Oh, and then the husband comes back, and everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
Good, very good, Sean.
And so Rick's just being, hey, you got a rabbit, good job, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat. And Carl kind of makes this offhand comment that we don't have to get as much now because Amy's gone.
Ooh.
And Jim's gonna be gone. Which, you know what? For a kid,
It's true, but it's
know,
kind of like
That's
tact.
tact.
yeah.
But kids have a lack of that at times, and sometimes it's the obvious statement, and it serves a dramatic purpose here.
Yeah, and Rick is, you're right, son, but, yeah, you're right. And Shane loses it.
Yeah.
Not on Carl, he loses it on Rick.
Yeah.
Excuse the language, but God damn it, Rick, it's not my fucking fault.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It is a little bit, but I mean, no one is blaming you no one is blaming him other than kind of Rick. Rick
Yeah.
has this kind of I told you we should have left. And then I think the look that Rick gave Shane at Andrew's funeral
Yeah.
or Amy's funeral was all Rick was going to say about it
Right.
by saying nothing.
Right.
But
Because he really didn't have to. It's obvious, and Shane is not wanting to cop to it.
yeah.
So.
And Shane just loses it. And said, not my fault. And Rick's like, you know what? Fine. You want this? Let's do it. It is your fault. And just kind of lays it out for him.
Yeah.
And they're going back and forth, shouting, really angry, getting kind of aggressive. And Carl takes off. It scares him to see his dad and his Uncle Shane,
Basically his uncle. Yeah.
Being so angry with each other.
Right.
And then we have, it switches completely to Andrea and Dale sitting in the RV with Dale kind of
Trying to comfort her. Yeah.
And just...
I mean, but how do you console somebody who's just lost the last member of their family?
Right.
So.
Booze.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We don't even think about booze.
Yeah.
And so Jim kind of comes to the conclusion, look, I'm fading fast. I know what I want to do. And so Carol comes out and breaks the news to the people that Jim just kind of wants to be left alone, so he's not in a place that could come back and harm us. But he doesn't want his own life taken, because maybe there's a chance he'll be reunited with his family.
Which is really weird, but someone would make that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. My fear would be I would just get ate.
Yeah.
And I don't want to die that way.
No.
No.
Did you see the movie Zombieland?
Yeah.
See it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they all kind of say their goodbyes with Jim just kind of leaning against a tree out back behind some apartment buildings.
And they don't even tie him to the tree or anything like that.
No.
Well,
They
yeah,
just-
because they want him to get loose.
Right, yeah.
So I think they're gonna move. They're gonna break camp.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, at this point, everyone's already thinking, like, we've got to move.
Right.
So,
Shane's the only holdout, and well,
yeah. And so Rick gets up, he's moving slow. It's a little later in the morning. And
is it the same day or the next day?
I
or
think it's
something?
the next day.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Or time moves a little differently in here. So, like, what might be one day looks like to us, it might be a week or so.
Who knows?
And so time moves fairly quickly in this, which I like.
Yeah.
One thing you'll notice as you keep reading is that the way they look will advance as the story advances.
Oh, you mean like
you'll
more
be-
beard
you'll
or-
be- Yeah, you'll be able to sort of gauge how long it's been based on their appearance.
Right.
Nice.
And that'll be good.
And that's a great attention to detail that I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with something that operates on this kind of timeline in this kind of setting. You're not going to be clean shaven.
Yeah.
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 In your standard comic book, most characters have a signature look that they retain most of the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless something terrible happens.
right, or whatever. There's a shift. Man, in the '80s, Tony Stark had
Right.
he looked like John Oates from Hall & Oates
Why is that?
with kind of a mullet, and that's the
Hall
one with the
Oates is
stash, right?
Greatest band of all time. Yeah.
Blow
Anyway,
my mind with your love of Hall & Oates. I mean, they're fine, but wow.
and so
Nobody has a passion for Hall & Oates like you that I know
why.
of.
They are excellent.
He got told straight no by a karaoke guy that they are not the what do you call them?
Pinnacle of music.
There you go. No.
Yeah, that was
You
a
blew
fun
that
one.
guy's mind.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
We digress.
Yeah. So Rick is asked to go hunting with Shane.
yeah.
And Shane says, or Carl wants to go. Shane's like, no. Rick says, I don't know about this time, son. We need to actually get something more than just kind of rabbit. Shane's like, come on, Rick, bring the sun. Let's do this.
Okay.
He's like, because we need to talk, Shane. He's like, what do we need to talk about? What the hell do you think we need to talk about?
Yeah.
And Shane just clocks Rick.
Fighting.
Yeah. And
And Lori scratches Shane in the face
yeah.
and calls him a swear words at him. And
Yep.
then the whole group sees him.
For
And
who he is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then problems.
Yeah. And so Shane takes off into the woods. Rick goes after him. And the group dynamic just changes.
Big time.
From, hey,
It was
we're all-
shifting.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
this
but
is it. It's over for Shane
Yeah.
in the group.
Rick catches up with Shane, and Shane turns and pulls his shotgun up at him.
Yeah.
And Rick's like, "Whoa, hey, was really hoping we could just talk. You clocked me. Let's deal with this." And Shane just lets him have it with his words, not the shotgun.
Right. Let's be clear.
Like a brother to me.
Yeah, basically. And Shane just lays everything out. He was in charge. He was getting the girl. All this stuff. And Rick's like, whoa, huh? You're getting a girl? What is that about?
Yeah.
Everything was so perfect
Right.
because Rick was gone.
Right.
And everything was so perfect until you came back, and he finally lifts the shotgun to take the shot at Rick.
Yeah.
But
wait.
bam! Or no, blam! And the neck of Shane blows out.
Yeah.
And
Coral has
Yeah.
shot Shane.
don't hurt my daddy. I'm going to be honest. I've watched the show. I knew Shane was dying soon.
Yeah.
I knew Sean spoiled it for me. Sean told me Carl kills him.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, you text me and said, "Oh my God, Carl killed him."
No. This was a couple weeks ago. Because he spoiled it. I asked him for it.
Okay.
I asked him to tell me he did it.
Yeah. You know, it happens. It happens much sooner in the.
I was so surprised because I don't know why I was surprised. It was
It's
so
a jarring moment.
good.
It happened at the end of season 2
Right.
in the show, and this is like chapter 1 of the comic. So the
Yeah.
timeline is definitely different.
Yeah. Because the reason I was so surprised was because I was reading it so fast. That's the thing about this. This is a giant book.
But a fairly quick read.
But once you get into reading this, there were times in Green Lantern where it kind of dragged on.
Yeah.
For me. Some of the dialogue was heavy. Like I couldn't get through a lot of dialogue. Even when the page in The Walking Dead is heavily dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm flying through it.
Yeah, it's an excellent read.
Yeah.
And not to put down certainly our Silver Age stuff that we're
No,
reading.
absolutely not.
As we're alternating episodes, but there's a big difference in kinds of comics we're talking about here. So,
and I think that
and eras. I mean,
I think that's developed over time. I think that's the way kind of
it's the evolution of the medium, really.
Yeah.
But also, this is written for an adult audience.
Yeah.
As
this
generally speaking, comics are
right
in this day and age. But our Green Lantern stuff is like, dude, it's 1960s.
Right. It's
definitely for a younger audience.
Yeah.
So anyway,
preteen, teenage kids.
Word.
This readability also is also why it's better to buy this particular one in the compendiums, because
Absolutely.
you fly through it and it's just better to have more right there because
Yeah, I mean, you like binge watching shows on Netflix? You get the compendium so you can binge read Walking Dead.
you'll do it without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So kind of back to the story.
Kind of.
Wonder Woman shows up.
And saves the world. The end. No.
Shane is gurgling.
As one with their throat blown out tends to do.
Right. And Rick is falling to his knees. Carl!
Carl!
And then Shane reaches out, gurgle, and flops over. Oh, son, it's not the same like killing the dead ones, Daddy. And oh my gosh,
Final page, full page splash. It should never. What does it say?
it should never be, son. It never should be. Sorry, it never should be, son. It never should be.
And that's the end of Walking Dead Chapter 1, Days Gone By.
Let me tell you when I'm reading this. I'm reading this at lunch, at work, in the, staff room, by myself.
You work at a
And,
school.
I work at a school. And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I have no one to share this moment with.
Right.
Which is so rough. And then, another aide walks in, I'm just like, ah! My eyes are like,
Right? It's great. It's excellent drama.
Yeah.
The adult scenes are going to be kind of interesting for you to read through at
Right.
At
Yeah.
work.
I'll keep it closed in the classroom.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of
Chapter 1.
yeah.
And what a way to end it.
Word.
Because we have no resolution with Carl and Rick, other than
But it's man, I can't wait to read the next issue.
Yeah,
Can't wait to read the next
absolutely.
chapter. And it's a perfect way to do it if you think about it.
Absolutely.
This is no wonder this is such a hit book. And yay.
Yeah. So bravo, Kirkman and more.
Yes.
I can't wait
To read more.
to read more.
And we hope
Next
you'll join us.
time.
Yay!
Awkward.
Awkward end.